What the fuck is going on, all of you degenerates? It is I, Toby, or Detobster. I am here today with you to bring you a championship interview. I am half of the draft degenerates. We are down one Raz today. It's not his fault this time, so I'm not going to shit on him. To respect his privacy, I won't disclose what's going on. He'll be back soon, but to replace him for today, I am joined by the sexiest man with a mustache I've ever seen in my fucking life. That is Archery, VGC, or Hunter right there. What the fuck is up?
What's up, baby? I really enjoy interviewing people. I like picking people's brains. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate you.
Hell yeah. Happy to have you here. And thank you for filling in on such short notice. Absolutely. But I'm even more excited to have the man, the myth, the legend with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, he has been in so many playoffs. He has been in so many semifinals, many finals, quarterfinals. He's been in so many top 5 power rankings. He has done it all since his debut in the Isle of Armor. Ladies and fucking gentlemen, I've said it multiple times. This motherfucker right below me, right here, right there, that's Toxic Crusader 48, and he is your new champion of the UDL. Give him a round of applause. Yes! Let's go! Yes!
Toxic.
How are you fucking doing tonight, Toxic?
I'm doing alright.
Why are you laughing? What's wrong?
I didn't expect this when you said high energy.
You said you wanted high energy. We're high energy. We're high energy. Toxic Crusader 48, everybody. Toxic, you just did a thing, no small feat or anything like that. It's you won UDL.
Yeah, I did.
That's insane. How does it feel? Has it sunk in yet?
It's felt pretty good. I mean, I still can't believe it happened because if you watched my previous interview, I bet that like anybody else but me would do it. I made it all the way, I guess. So I guess I have to do this.
And look at you now. You are here to deliver on a couple promises. But we'll get to that at the end of the video.
Yeah.
Toxic, we wanted to ask you a few questions just to pick your brain. We wanted to get some insight on your overall season. We wanted to see what makes the champ difference for you. So we're going to get right into that if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. I'll start us off. If you would like to tell us about like your initial team at the start of the season versus your team at the end of the season, how different they were in terms of toolkits or in terms of mon placements. Was your team better at the end of the season than it was at the start of the season? What are your thoughts, beginning team versus ending team?
So I felt my initial team was pretty strong. Like I had Taurus and Rotom Heat, pretty strong guys. I got Persian, it's fine. I have pretty strong guys. But I felt that because a lot of the best teams in the entire league had like Kilowattrel, Noivern, Talonflame, all these big Tailwind setters, or like Klefki Sableye, all this amazing speed control, and I just have a Persian and a Dream. And I made no transactions throughout the entire season except Arboliva, and that thing changed everything. You wouldn't believe how much one Pokemon completely changes the entire team. The team I had at the beginning of the season and at the end are worlds apart to me.
Which is insane because it was really, I thought you had only made one trade in the entire season, but I wasn't for sure. But yeah, that is insane to have one Pokemon basically change the entire flow of your team. And you're welcome for keeping it warm for you, by the way.
No problem. I'll always appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. So what did Arboliva do for you specifically? Go into that a little bit.
Okay, so to put it lightly, I'm gonna put this the nicest way possible. Rotom Heat, cracked. Tauros Aqua, cracked. Decidueye, trash. So trash.
I mean, yeah.
That one is so garbage. So terrible. It couldn't hit a single count. It wasn't even like fast. So it had like, it couldn't be faked out and it could set tailwind. But it didn't matter because it's not competing with Noivern or Kilowattrel. Are you kidding me?
It's true.
So Decidueye is terrible in so many ways. To the point where Arboliva just changed everything. Having an actual grass type that helped me changed everything.
Yeah.
That's the gist of it.
Fair enough. And you really did trade up because, to be honest, I think Arboliva's going to move up next season. I think it'll probably go up to tier 1. I haven't talked to the other admins yet, but I have another admin with me, and I think we're on the same page about that, but I don't know. But yeah, you definitely traded like what's probably a borderline tier 4 grass type to a tier 1, so that'll make a difference.
Decidueye is so trash.
It will make a difference.
It's so trash.
Well, if do you have any other comments about your team other than that, or?
Yeah, that is literally all.
Okay.
Getting rid of that thing was the best decision I've ever made in a draft.
I agree. Okay. Hunter, give him 1.
All right. So, I feel like draft is always an evolving game. It's always an evolving, meta, and it's always an evolving thought process. That being said, what is one thing that really sticks out to you that you've learned throughout the whole season? It could be anything, be anything about Pokemon specifically, or matchups, or players. What is the one thing that like sticks out? Like, wow, this is one thing I can take away from the UDL season.
That's a good one.
Okay, the main thing I'll take away from this season is that like, I could probably give about 2 things. It's mindset when you go into a matchup, and it's also about play. But mindset also kind of affects play. So look, when you go into a matchup, you don't go into a matchup thinking, hey, I'm gonna try to put up a fight. No, you go up into a matchup saying that you will win, or at least like care about it, Like try your best in every single thing. Like I know some people have like leagues where they don't try hard, or leagues they just have fun in. I'm not gonna lie, every league I go in, I'm probably gonna try hard. That's just how it is. I'm in it to win it. That's kinda all. But my second thing when it comes to play is that what really elevated my season, or at least like made it different from my regular season, is that in playoffs, I was forced to like make so many 50-50 plays to the point where I completely changed my mindset to the point where I'm completely fine with making reads now, which is kind of what saved my playoffs run. I'm gonna be real. I'm fine with reading people. Like, the big thing, I feel like the big game that really illustrated that was my game versus Aldi, where I predicted his Terra Water and clicked Discharge with Rotom. Next to his Pikachu. Like, it just worked. I knew he was gonna Terra Water in front of a Rotom Heat, and I just did the thing. There was no thinking to it. It just happened. And I think that's something that a lot of players could think about when they play their games. Try making some reads.
Okay. I dig it. Especially the mindset one. That's one I'm gonna take away from as well. Maybe not necessarily do throwaway leagues, because I think it definitely just helps to try your best in every one you're in, because I think you put it best in UDL general today. Actually, you were like, I don't think I can handle more than 2 leagues or something like that, and then you entered a couple more and just you put yourself through the gauntlet, and that's what like really whips you into shape. So I think that's a good mindset to have.
A gauntlet that just changes everything.
Yeah.
Like this season changed so much for me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see what I have for you. In terms of like, I guess going back to your team a little bit, for like combinations on your team. Are there any like two mons that were just too good to separate? Or like from game to game, week to week, what like combinations did you just love bringing so much and just worked so consistently that it was like, why wouldn't I bring these? If you had any of those?
Kurosaka Rotom Heat.
Yeah,
It's kind of that simple. I mean, like, okay, I don't think I need to explain why I think Turosa Aqua is like a top 3
Easily.
in the format.
Easily.
I don't need to explain it. I don't. I really don't. And like, Rotom Heat is borderline bannable, at least from like surface value. And I also got that with like a border. I'm gonna say it's a top 3 mon. It's a top 3 mon. Tauros is a top 3 mon. And like the big thing about that combo is that they just cover each other to perfection. I mean, Rotom has a lot of good natural bulk. Tauros has Intimidate that can help with that. Tauros is weak to Fairy, Psychic, and Grass. Wow, I wonder what can help switch in on that. And wow, Rotom Heat is weak to Water, Rock, whatever else. It's crazy because I have a bull. Like, they synergize so perfectly with each other. It's kind of insane how I got both. I'm really happy with those two in particular.
You know what? I
For
can
sure.
agree with that.
For sure.
I can agree with that. And you have joined, I think, 3 other UDL teams that have won with a Tauros. So it's probably, I think it's the Mon. It is the Mon.
And Persian.
And Persian. That is true.
And Persian.
Yeah.
True.
I think
Persian just stays winning.
I think Persian Tauros, that's a common denominator, I guess. I don't know.
I guess
They're
so.
just too good in low tier, bro.
It's fair
Really?
enough.
Broken
All right.
mons.
All right. Well, then good to know there. Hunter, hit him with another one.
Okay. Speaking of your team, I personally love it. I love every single pick on this team. I think, the Arboliva swap from Decidueye to Arboliva was just a pure upgrade in every single aspect. I think Arboliva was just a really sick mon in low tier. I have some questions though, because obviously everybody knows, what Tauros, Rotom Heat, Florges, Persian, Arboliva, even Caporaja most of the time. You understand what those Pokemon are going to do. As for your lower tiers, in low tier, which is a tongue twister, I'm talking things like Venonat, Gothita, Girafarig, all these NFE mons. Is there anything that you didn't get to show off that you really wanted to with a couple of these mons? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know what Venonat does. I don't know what that mon does. I need to know. What were you thinking? Well, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm like, what were you thinking when it comes to prepping with these mons?
So in terms of combos and stuff, Girafarig was purely, I drafted it with the mindset of it being a Trick Room setter that can't be faked out, that can also just block Spore with Sap Zipper. Those two abilities really cover it as a Trick Room setter. It's got amazing bulk with Eviolite, and its move pool is nuts. It's one of the few mons to get funny move. If you know, you know. Helping Hand, Foul Play, Psychic Fangs, it can run physical or special actually. And it's got 85 speed, so I can run it with a sweeping Nasty Plot set if I want. I didn't do it, but I can. I technically brought my Perish Trap mode with Honchkrow and Gothita, but it didn't work. As you probably know if you watched it.
I saw it.
Now, in reference to this Venomoth, I'm not gonna lie. I drafted this thing with the mindset of dropping, because originally I drafted Jumpluff as my grass type, and I thought Decidueye would be a significant upgrade, and it'd be so much stronger than Jumpluff. I'm not gonna get into it.
But
I
it wasn't.
thought Venomoth got Shield Dust, because Shield Dust blocks Fake Out, and I thought it got Tailwind, and it didn't. But you want to know what it does get? It gets Rage Powder, and it gets Sleep Powder, and it's got 90 speed, so it's pretty good. It can even sweep with Quiver Dance, and I really wanted to sweep somebody with Quiver Dance, Tinted Lens, Venomoth, and it just didn't happen because I wanted to win.
Fair enough. That
I,
raised. Go ahead.
I wanted
wanted
to
to-
I wanted to
Go ahead, champ.
talk about Haunch Crow, but I'm sure y'all have seen what Haunch Crow does at this point.
Dude,
I don't
let
need to
them
explain.
know because
Go ahead.
as far as I'm aware, we got some sleepers. We got some
Mhm.
sleepers in this community on Honchcrow, dude. I'm just saying, Honchcrow is a demon.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, what tier? I think Braviary was tier 1, right? I believe
Yes.
Either
so.
1 or 2. I can't remember.
So imagine, like, so a big thing. Y'all might get into this later, so I'm not gonna go super deep into it. The big thing about my team was value, budgeting, yada yada, and I saw Haunch Crow in tier 3 and noticed how much offensive potential this thing has. I mean, it's got a higher attack stat than Braviary and can run like Moxie and Super Luck. That's like super high damage potential. And its utility is pretty good. I mean, it's got Murkrow's moveset. It just does. Like, that's pretty nice.
Could you
That's
imagine?
kind of like all my low tiers.
Could you imagine if they gave Honchcrow Prankster? How broken that mon would be? Oh my god, could you imagine that? I also want to
That
preface
thing-
by saying I totally misspoke. I meant to say Venomoth, and I think I said Venonat, right?
I think you
You
did
said
too,
Venonat.
but I wasn't
I
gonna
wasn't
call
gonna
you out.
press you.
I knew what you meant.
Okay,
Yeah.
I meant Venomoth, and I understand it gets Rage Powder and like Quiver Dance and stuff like that. I was just curious if you had anything else for it. I mean, it kind of does one thing and one thing pretty good. Tinted Lens is pretty sweet also. I was just curious
Yeah.
because I like low tier quite a bit, and I think low tier the format kind of gives Pokemon like Venomoth or like Girafarig or maybe even stuff like Persian, even though it's good in a normal format, it gives these Pokemon another chance to shine when it may not be as optimal in a league filled with ruins and paradoxes and such, which are banned because it's low tier. Um, yeah, as for your Parish Trap mode, I think that's a really sick mode. I also really like Sandaconda, and the reason why I like Sandaconda is because of its ability Sand Spit. Even though you really don't have like a Sand Abuser on your team per se, like it still gives you a really good opportunity for like a semi-weather mode if you want to set that up correctly. Obviously you'd have to play like insane to set that up like consistently, but Sandaconda is really sweet as a ground type here. It's pretty bulky. It's a really good assault vest user. I really liked what you did with your team this season. Yeah, I love how you put it together too. I really like the Firewater Grass Core you put together towards the end of Taurus Aqua, Rotom Heat, Arboliva. That's probably the best in the league if I had to say it off memory. Like it's definitely the best.
Definitely.
On top of pairing it with a really strong core of supporting mons like Persian. Florigis is really awesome too. It's super strong, super bulky on the special side. And you don't really have to worry about physical attacks that much because you could just, everybody says just Terra, but you also have Intimidate on Tauros, and you have ways around it. And Sandaconda is a good physical wall too. So, yeah, I just love how you put it together.
Definitely.
Thank you.
I will echo that. It is a very well put together team, obviously, because look where you are. But
Hey.
one question I have is, I don't know if I missed a video or not of yours, but did Kaparaja ever do anything? Genuine question. I might be missing something, but
So I brought it versus Flame, and it
Okay.
hit the field, and I think it got a kill. But sadly, there was never a chance, bro. That thing, Kaparaja isn't the problem. It's bulky. It's got 130 attack with Sheer Force, Life Orb, Iron Head. That thing hits like a truck, and it's in tier 3. That's very powerful. However, the problem is the rest of my team was so powerful that it didn't even need to be brought most of the time.
okay, yeah, fair enough.
That's not even trying to brag. That's just facts. That's what it is.
No, that's fair.
Kaparaja never got a chance to shine.
That's fair. It's unfortunate because I wanted to see Kaparaja shine, but that's fair. I didn't know if I had missed a video or something that was like Kaparaja pops off, but I just didn't think I had seen it.
I wish I could have made it pop off.
Hey, maybe next season. Huh?
Hey,
Kaparaja team next season?
Maybe?
Okay. Anyway, Toxic, I guess moving from your team, now it's obvious you have a great team. So with this team, in terms of matchups, were there particular matchups that felt like in reg season or in playoffs that felt like really rough for you on paper? That that inspired extra prep or anything like that? Inspired you having to get super creative with it, and talk a little bit about that.
Every single playoffs matchup.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we've gone through this in UDL before. Like, I'm pretty sure 90% of that entire playoffs like bracket was full of champions,
Yeah.
2-time champions.
Yeah.
Like, it was super stacked, and even outside of like skill matchups, every single team, at least in top 4, had really consistent speed control. And look at me, my tailwind setter is a Decidueye. I mean, well, was a Decidueye.
Well, yeah.
Well, after Decidueye was Haunch Crow, who I'm not. Outside of Scarf Tailwind, it's not working.
Fair enough.
So, pretty much my answer to your question is every single playoffs matchup. It was brutal. I got through it, but nothing was easy. There was no easy W. It was all hard fought.
Yeah, definitely not. I looked at our playoffs roster when we were getting all the matchups put in place, and I was like, "What? Wow, what is going on right now?"
When you look at that entire bracket, there's no way to predict who's gonna win. There's actually no way to predict that.
There was just no way. You had Hunter in it, you had Ollie in it, you had you, Depiz, Rolo. I mean, it was. I was looking at that and I was like, I don't know who wins. I genuinely don't know who wins. Anybody could knock out anybody here.
That in combination with the general playoff formatting of just random matchups and stuff, that might be the most brutal playoffs bracket I've ever been in. Yes. It might be.
That's fair then. So basically just playoffs was where you had to put in the extra overtime for building,
which is fair.
Which I mean, yeah, if there's a time to do it. All right, Hunter, hit him with one.
Since we're on the topic of playoffs, I just kind of want to pick your brain on something really quick. So you correct me if I'm wrong, but you played in the wild card round. You played barbecue. You won that game, and then you played Ollie, who was in a lot of people's favorites to win the green division and the league in general.
He was my favorite to win.
Right, beat him, and then you go and beat M-Boss, who's an established player who has won leagues in the past, won GLDL. You know what I mean? And then you play Depiz, who just won GLDL, is a really established player also on the rise. Just kind of walk me through, your thought process on kind of how you went into these matches. Did you take it week to week? Did you look ahead? Did you was the Arboliva for any sort of matchup or anything like that? Because I also picked up Arboliva in playoffs, believe it or not. We were the Arbolievers in the playoff transactions toxic. We were. And I actually picked it up for my matchup versus Depiz, which is who you played in finals. So I think that's a really interesting situation there, because I felt Arboliva was really good in what Depiz had. Do you feel the same way? Take me through kind of what you thought week to week going through playoffs. Obviously, you don't have to go way in depth, but just kind of week to week, what you were kind of thinking going into this.
So, in terms of my playoff transaction, I saw a superior grass type, and I took it. That's kind of...
Okay.
I mean, I feel like my feelings on Decidueye have been summed up in this entire interview. He looks cool, but he's not good. Don't touch him. He's not good. In terms of playoff matchups, though, it was kind of impossible to sort of look ahead outside of semis, because it was random. There was no way for me to look ahead at matchups or grab them on to prepare for a matchup. I just had to grab something that I think elevated my team to a new level, and it just kind of happened. There's not much to that. In terms of my week to week, in terms of how I prepared for my potential matchup, I just crossed my fingers and prayed that I didn't get somebody really cracked. I ended up getting somebody cracked, every single time,
I'm
and I
sorry.
still won it all.
Yeah, you made it.
Yeah, I was just waiting to, because you were like, yeah, I was really hoping I wouldn't roll into somebody cracked, and then you go from barbecue, who's like first league popping off, makes playoffs, into Ollie, into Mboss, into Depis. It's like you really can't. There's no easy week there.
He
It's
just
like
doesn't get a
Couldn't avoid
break.
the storm.
there's no break, and you played 4 rounds of playoffs, and typically a normal format would be 3 if it
Mhm.
was like a top 6 format,
Right.
because it would be 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. But the random seeding in the playoff, kind of like in the playoff bracket, that's another thing I wanted to ask you about. Sorry, I'm going 2 in a row, Toby. I
No,
hope you don't
go.
mind.
Do it.
What was
Go
your
on.
opinion on the playoff bracket since you won the whole thing? I understand, you didn't really have an easy week. That's kind of the point, but it's also to, randomize the bracket a little bit, since some players from the Mambasif and Houndstone division, like they'll never get to play each other in the regular season. You're kind of in a divisional battle throughout the whole regular season. The playoffs is where you really start to shine, because then you get to have your cross draft games, and typically a lot of the time, which we saw actually in the semis with Depis and Razz, we saw a very similar team mirror with the Sanmo. They had very similar teams, and it made for an interesting matchup. And I think that's a plus for the content, I should say, for the playoff bracket. So what is your overall opinion in your first time playing in a playoff bracket like this?
I'm gonna be real. In terms of sheer entertainment and fun, this was honestly the most fun playoff bracket I've been in. And obviously, I'm a tad bit biased because I want it all, but here's the thing. When it comes to regular playoffs, you make your playoff transaction thinking ahead. Oh, how can I plan for this? How can I plan for that? No, in this one, I made a transaction that I thought might be good, and I got thrown into the gauntlet of my life. I was fighting for my life every single time. There was no break to it. There was no easy game. And I kinda loved it. Would I want this to be in every single league? Probably not, cause I would be tired. I would be a little burnt out. But in terms of just every now and then, it's nice to have a new challenge like that. Or it's nice to have a challenge like that where you can't plan for anything. You just have to go with the flow. And you're forced to take it week to week, basically. I kinda like that. I kinda liked the new challenge. A new feeling, I really vibe with it.
I agree. I think it was a good switch up to have to do something different than what other leagues were doing, and I have to echo you again. In terms of edge of your seat entertainment factor, it doesn't get much better than that. It's oh, who's fighting who next? Oh God, that matchup's horrible for him. Oh God, what's he gonna do here? Oh God, now he's fighting Depis. Oh God, I feel bad for him. Stuff like that. But yeah, the only thing would be I don't think I'd play in every league that does randomization. I don't think I'd like it if it was every league, but I think randomization isn't inherently bad, and I think we had a pretty good example of how it can work for you in terms of just sheer entertainment of there's a power hour in every round every week, I guess. You can't really go wrong with any match that was matched up.
It also usually it's kind of hard to explain this because I have gone to finals before. Y'all know this. Y'all talked about it, but I think this is the one I feel the most proud of because I don't. Well, obviously, I want it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want it all. Of course, I'm super proud of it. This one is it's hard to explain. It's just in other playoffs that I've been in, there was always one easy game that I was super confident that I was gonna win. There was this one game where oh, not only am I better than this guy, my team is just so much better, And it was it felt easy. But this one, it was just wow. I'm fighting for my life.
There is no break. There's no easy time at all for that structure. Especially, I guess this is a pretty good segue into, you talked about your kind of thought process of praying and like hoping something works throughout the whole playoffs. But by the time finals came around, you knew who you were fighting. So you were fighting Depiz in finals.
Yes.
Walk us through your prep process for finals. Like, what did you have to build? What adjustments did you make? How many iterations of a pace did you go through before you landed on something? Like, what did that prep process look like? And then how did the prep differ from the play? Like, what did you have to do in the moment to make sure you got the W?
In terms of the sheer amount of iterations the team went through, I say about 4 or 5. Like, it's not like I went super crazy. Well, I obviously tried my best, but I didn't go like super crazy. I didn't do mocks. I didn't really even like flowchart that much. I just flowcharted leads and like selected moves based on the potential leads. Um, uh, in terms of like what I plan to do, like I said earlier, my tailwind hitter is a haunch crow, and I like to remind you that like every team in top 4 had like something super fast or had super fast speed control, like Kilowattrel, Noivern, whatever, or like 2 Lycan rocks with sand, like really fast blitzy teams. And the problem is, I can't do that, really, especially against those teams, because my speed control is Persian, and I love Persian. It's not faster than Lycan Rock and Sand.
No.
It's not happening. There's no way that's happening. So the way I built the matchup is that I'm trying to read through. The general idea was to just survive the onslaught and hit harder. Like okay, to like run through my sets, I had like AV Tauros, which like that's not crazy, but what's crazy is the EVs, because I was max HP, like 52 special defense with assault vest. That is incredibly bulky.
Yeah.
Like bulkier than normal. I went crazy with the bulk because I know there was no way I was winning the speed war. There's no way I'm outspeeding this guy. I can't do it. And I even brought like Citrus Berry Rotom Heat so that way I could live longer. Like, I was confident that I was never gonna win the speed war.
Mm-hmm.
But that also gave me the freedom to just invest in bulk, but also invest in a lot more in offense, which gave me a lot of freedom. My general idea for lead was to lead Persian and Tauros or Persian and Rotom. Ended up doing Persian and Tauros just in case he led Sand, because outside, because like if I let Rotom Heat into into a sand mode, into a sand mode,
You'd be braver than me.
Yeah, I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not doing it. It's not gonna happen. I knew, so like the general idea was to just get momentum. Momentum's the big thing for playoffs, and it was the big thing for finals too. Because I knew if I got at least a 1-mon advantage, and on like at least turn 2 or 3, I knew I could win it all. Because I know he could probably have something to outspeed me or outbulk me in the back, and as long as I had the numbers advantage, or at least the health advantage, I was gonna win it all. I need to keep my mons alive, pivot, switch and Intimidate on Sand, Terra Steel, whatever, because I had Terra Steel and Rotom and Tauros. Strength Sap the Hippowdon, because I brought Strength Sap. It's a cool move, people. How's the general idea? There was also the elephant in the room here is Scarflorges. It outspeeds Noivern, but really, I mean, it did that, but it did way more than just outspeed Noivern.
That thing was getting KOs.
Like, The sad part is I really wanted to lead it so I could get immediate offensive pressure. But sadly, Noivern's a stupid Pokemon that gets Frisk and reveals all the fun. So I have to keep it in the back. Outside of that, that was like the general idea. Stay alive. And really my only mon that was meant to outspeed and kill was Florges, which is so strange.
That is a weird sentence to say. I don't think Florges being the mon that hits first, but... Alright.
It's the adaptation you have to make to win finals.
Hey,
Like,
whatever you gotta do, and he did not see it coming, so it worked. I don't know if he saw it coming or not, but yeah, Hunter, hit him with one more.
I do have a question. Now, this doesn't have to be on your team, but is there one Pokemon that really stood out to you as like a sleeper that you weren't really expecting to be good?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could be anything, like something on your team or something somebody brought on you. You're like, oh, that actually does something. I did not know that did that. Or, hey, this Pokemon is cracked, and I didn't know that. Is there any one of those that you experienced this season?
We've stumped him. Hello?
Okay.
Oh, did it? Oh, did we cut out?
I couldn't hear y'all for a minute.
Oh, Hunter, say it again. Say it again.
Okay. I basically just said it doesn't have to be on your team. Wait, Toxic, by the way, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. It doesn't have to be something on your team. It could be something on something you saw or somebody brought into you or something like that. Is there one Pokemon you saw throughout the UDL season that you were like, oh, I didn't know this mon was good. I thought it was trash. It actually does something. It could be something on your team, something you saw in somebody's video, something that was brought against you, something that just surprised you in a good way.
Something that really surprised me. This one, okay, y'all are kind of spitting. I am slightly stumped. If I had to say one mon that really surprised me, it was Clodsire. Now, you know my name in UDL, Barbecue Stand. I gotta bring barbecue up. Barbecue's usage of Clodsire was elite. That was insane. It was way more than a late game piece, which I thought that was all it was ever gonna be. Like late game acid spray if it gets it, whatever. He brought Bandit Earthquake Clodsire, bro. That is probably the best usage of Clodsire I've ever seen. Just crazy because I've seen some pretty high level players have that thing. Nobody ever thought to use it as an offensive mon, but it just worked. And I think that's the most impressed I've been the entire season. That Clodsire usage was elite. I'm super impressed by it.
Fair enough. Shout out Clodsire. And shout out Barbecue
Shout
too
out
for
Barbecue.
using.
Shout
Yeah,
out
shout out
Barbecue.
Barbecue. Alright. Then Toxic. I think we're just about out of questions for you.
I know,
And
what time
I
it is.
think you know
Yes,
what that
sir.
means. Toxic Crusader 48. A few months ago on this very channel, you made a promise to Raz and I that if you won a league, you would reveal your face to the people of the draft community. Toxic, I don't know if you noticed or not, but you won. And it's time for that face reveal to happen. So, editing and post, Toby, cue the dramatic music.
Is it Tom?
Toxic, reveal that face!
Here we go.
Here it comes. I'm waiting.
Is it... Oh no, is it not
no.
loading?
Oh
Hold
no!
I
dude.
swear.
What's up?
Yes, sir.
Yo,
I don't see
face
it.
reveal.
I don't see it.
Don't see it.
I
I
don't
see it. What's up, baby?
I don't see it on my
What's up, Hunter?
I don't see it. Oh, hold
Yes, sir.
on.
Cool shirt.
I know why. Give me 1 second.
What?
There it goes. He's loading. There he is!
What's up?
Let's
Sure.
go!
Thank you, thank you.
Here he is.
Hey, people, that's your UDL champion right there, baby.
That is Toxic Crusader 48. And my god, is he a handsome young man.
Yes, sir, dude.
Look at him go. Look at the swag he's got.
Wait, he got a
Let's
wave?
go. He's got the
He got a
waves.
wave? Wait a minute.
Y'all probably can't see him, but-
Let's go.
Probably
Yes,
can't see
sir.
him, but
I can kind of make it out. Hell yeah, bro.
Yes, sir, dude.
I already know.
Fuck yeah.
All right, no.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Draft Degenerates community, your UDL champion, Toxic Crusader 48. It's him. Let's fucking go. He's done it.
He's done it.
It's happened. The faith
Yes,
reveals
sir.
everything.
Toxic, where can the good people find you? What links?
You can find me on my channel. You can also find me on Draft Degenerates. You know, make sure to
Yes.
subscribe to here.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta subscribe to here, but also you gotta subscribe to me because
Yeah.
a new age of Toxic Crusader content is coming out. I found a right controller on my Switch that doesn't drift. Hopefully,
Dude, we got it. It's time.
Yes.
Oh,
It's a
it's
new
time, bro.
it's a new
Yes.
age. It's time. I'm elevating myself, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, but where can the people find you though? You trailed off. Link your channels. Go, Toxic.
You can find me at Toxic Crusader 48. I try to stream on Twitch, but sometimes Twitch tells me no. That's kind of all. I just post draft matches. That's all I do. Been like 4 leagues. Please help me.
You know what? You finally won one.
I'm telling you, just play the game more, and you can succeed. I think that's the gist of it all. Play the game more, get more experience, and win.
All right. Well, people of the draft community, we are the Draft Degenerates. I'm Toby. This is Hunter. I will link his channel down below. If you're not fucking subscribed yet, what the hell are you doing? Why are you watching this fucking channel and not subscribed yet? Do you want Raz to cry? He's probably crying right now because you're not subscribed.
What's wrong with you?
Sobbing.
Like, sobbing.
Actually, hold on. I gotta take this phone call. Hello? Oh. Hi, Raz. What's going on? Oh, you're crying. Oh, dude, you just hung up on me.
What the
He said,
fuck?
"Fuck you." Dude, he just hung up on me.
No. Oh, no.
No.
You fucking monsters. Hit the fucking
saying.
subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button.
God damn. And also subscribe to Toxic Crusader's channel because his
Yes, sir.
channel is
Yes,
making
sir.
it to a new age. A new age with face cam content.
It depends. I need a cap card.
All right,
first, bro.
fair enough.
Okay, that's fair.
Fair enough. All right, then thank you all for watching. If you are
Need a
watching
cap
this,
card before I do any of that.
fair enough. Thank you all for watching. If you are watching this video, you are a draft degenerate.
Strange.
And we will see you in the next video. Peace.
See ya.